everyone, and welcome to Noddy's Toyland. I'm your host Andrew, and this new YouTube channel is going to be dedicated to reviewing vintage toys, specifically the toys that I have in my collection behind me here, as you can see. I've been collecting now for about 10 years, and I collect a wide range of toys ranging all the way from the 1980s right up until the modern day. Mainly I collect things that I find nostalgic from my childhood, hence why there's a lot of 1980s and 1990s toys. But I also collect things from TV, film and video games, things that I just generally find interesting. So these first few videos are going to be a tour of my toy room and basically what I have on the shelves. And I'd like you guys to tell me what you'd like me to review in the comment section. So if you see something you like during my little room tour, then just pop a comment in the section and let me know. So without further ado, let's start the tour of my toy room. Okay, so starting at the bottom here, you can see this is the bottom half of my Thundercats shelf. We also have some different things on the floor here. You can see there's April O'Neil's news van there. April seems to be having a nap. I don't know when she's fallen over. Hello. There we have some Transformers there, which is just Bumblebee from the first movie, the deluxe Bumblebee. And here we have Defenders of the Earth, Flash Gordon Swordship. It's a very cool toy, one of my favourites as a child. Hours of fun running around with that, hitting people. So here we have the first Thundercat shelf, and this is mainly where I keep the mini PVCs, and you can see there is a mutant nosediver there, and some of the mini playsets at the back. I did strain to get in some of the modern Thundercats, as you can see with the claw shield there. To be honest, I didn't really like the new animated series. I know probably a lot of you would disagree, but it wasn't for me. I prefer the originals. As you can see, there's a newer Sword of Omens there as well, and the Fist Pounder. Always a funny name. Gotta love the Fist Pounder. Names for 1980s toys were outrageous. So there is the Fist Pounder and some sliding puzzles there. So okay, moving up, here we have, this is the shelf where I keep all the bad guys. So as you can see, I've got Slythe. I'm not going to talk you through every single character because you probably know who they are, but there's the crypt at the back there, Mum-Ra's crypt. There's a laser pack. So you can see on here, I've got all the bad guys. They're all there. There's a couple more on the top shelf. Some of the Berserkers there. The Berserkers are fantastic figures. Moving up again. And here we have the good guys with the Thunder Tank there. Nice boxed Thunder Wings and a boxed Lunar Lasher. They're not mint in box, so I'll probably be reviewing those at some point, and I'll take those out and you can have a look at those. Up there we've got the role play, the claw shield and the dagger. Moving across. Wily Kit and Wily Cat. Some more good guys down there. Bengali, Jaga, Linkso, Palmyra. There's Panther in his mighty tank there with his nunchucks. Okay, moving up. And here we have, come around this side first, we have the Driller. Which any Thundercats collector will know is quite a rare figure. And the Stinger. Those are not original wings, before you ask. They're just customs that I actually made myself, just for display purposes. Moving around, we have the Astral Moat Monster. Again, quite a rare figure. Kind of been blocked out by one of Stinger's wings there. At the back there is a Sword of Omens that I actually made myself. That is a custom. So if anyone wants to see more of that, by all means ask me in the comments and we might be able to do something. So moving around, this is the Mighty Cat's Lair playset which is considered one of the grails in the Thundercats. I've actually got my mini PVCs displayed on there. I think they actually scale quite a lot better with the playset than the larger figures which it was built for. This playset is awesome. It is one of my favourite Thundercat pieces. Very cool. And you've got my Sword of Omens at the back there. Moving up, there's a Sky Cutter with Jackalman hanging up. Quite like that display, as if he's coming down to attack the cat's lair. Moving across, here we have some Resident Evil figures. Very big fan of the Resident Evil series, so I have quite a lot of those. Please excuse the dust, I didn't realise that was so dusty up there. Got some die casts. This shelf is really a mishmash of kind of other things that I couldn't fit on other shelves. Got a mask playset at the back there. At the top, that is a very good toy, and the Max FX Freddy Krueger doll. Very controversial toy, released back in the 80s. It wasn't on the shelves for long, was pulled because parents didn't like the idea of their children playing with a serial killer rapist doll. Surprise there. So that is amazing. I absolutely love that. That is mint in box, never been opened. So moving across, we've got a Robocop there. That's a very good Robocop. Made by Toy Island, I believe. It's got an opening holster. Ed 209. Got a little Buffy the Vampire Slayer there. Love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Donatello. My little pop there. Donatello is my favourite turtle, so a lot of my turtles, things that I have, are based around Donatello because he is my favourite. So, moving up, we've got the A-Team helicopter. That's the die-cast Ertl one, very cool. That's a Jetfire from Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I've also got Optimus on the shelf there, as you can see in the back, which he combines with. So moving across, we've got some vehicles hanging up here. It's my G.I. Joe Tomahawk, G.I. Joe Sky Striker, G.I. Joe Phantom, and the G.I. Joe Rattler. I've got them all hanging up together. And I don't collect a lot of G.I. Joe, but what I have got is mainly aircraft. I quite like the G.I. Joe aircraft. So it's coming back around and coming down here. We've got some other figures here. Tomb Raider legend Lara Croft. Very 1/6 scale figure. Absolutely love the detail on her. Got her hanging on there, like she's rock climbing. Resident Evil Code Veronica Chris Redfield. Again, a very detailed figure. Quite hard to find. So that will probably be getting a review as well. Coming down. I've got Ertl, die-cast Airwolf. A larger scale one. Got a smaller Fortress Maximus at the back there. Moving across. The Kenner Talking Knight 2000. Very cool toy. Love that thing. You pull down on the number plate and it's actually got a record player in the back, and it will actually talk and say different various kit phrases. Moving across, it's a bit of more of a modern toy, the Diamond Select DeLorean from Back to the Future, as you know. Moving across, there we have the Crash Dummies. One of my favourite toys as a kid. Absolutely love that car. Coming across. Let's start at the top shelf here, shall we? So the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I only collect the original Power Rangers because, quite honestly, I never got into any of the other series, and the original Power Rangers was what I grew up with. So I've got some legacy items there. You can see I've got the Morpher and the dagger in the background, but the figures and everything, they're all original 90s ones. I've got the legacy blaster at the top there. So coming down, this is Aliens, my shelf dedicated to Alien and Aliens. Very big fan of the Aliens franchise. Very big fan of Sigourney Weaver in general. I absolutely love her portrayal of Ripley in the Aliens franchise. Got some Kenner Aliens toys in the corner there. Some of the Galoob Micro Machines from Aliens, which again are quite hard to find. They're not easy to find. There's an Alien Queen watch there with Batman climbing up it. Not sure what he's doing. Moving down. Here we have my Jerry Anderson shelf. Well, I say Jerry Anderson, there's a Terminator on there and a few other things, but mainly Jerry Anderson on this shelf. I loved Thunderbirds as a kid and absolutely loved Terrorhawks. I actually think it's quite an underrated series. Terrorhawks for me was probably better than Thunderbirds. I love the whole concept of Terrorhawks. Even the evil old lady, Zelda, she was great. So I've got a figure of her there, you can just see her. She's seen better days, I think. She's gone a bit yellow. But here we go, moving across. You can see I've got Defenders of the Earth here. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And then you can see is my Beetlejuice grave. That has actually got a Beetlejuice inside it, but we'll get to that another time. Okay, so moving down again. So here we have the 18. Quite a few 18 toys, the old Galoob ones. I've got the van and the Corvette. And I've also got some Micro Machines down here. Quite a big Micro Machines collection, but I don't tend to collect the play sets as they're bulky and they take up a lot of space. And space is what I'm lacking here. So we've got Terminator 2 Judgment Day Micro Machine playset, which is very cool. The endoskeleton skull, which is very cool. And that's the A-Team up there. Okay, and coming down again to the bottom. We've got in the corner there my Toy Biz Resident Evil 2 figures. Absolutely loved Resident Evil 2. It was one of my favourite games on the original PlayStation. So I collected all the figures to do with that game. So you've got William Birkin at the back there, Mr. X, Tyrant, Leon Kennedy. And we've got Starship Troopers, Micro Machines, that's the TAC Fighter. And we've got Batman, first Michael Keaton movie, The Joker. Love that figure. Then again, Michael Keaton Batman with the suit that you can clip onto him. It's all Batmobile, mint on card there. The Kenner Dark Knight Batmobile. Very, very cool. Much better than the Toy Biz version. The Toy Biz version actually didn't have a canopy on it. It just had a windshield, which it wasn't movie accurate, which bugged me the most. So I sought down the Kenner Dark Knight version, which was released in the early 90s. And I think that's a lot more faithful to what we saw on the screen. So that's G.I. Joe Dragonfly. That's in need of restoration. So we'll ignore that. So I'm going to leave the video here, and we'll do the Transformers in one video, I think, because there's quite a lot of them. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, take care.